Let's get our final question on this week's show. This was sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Tim in Newark, New Jersey. I've noticed Dennis Condrey did it. I've noticed Ric Flair did it. And countless others as well. What is the point of putting a thin band of athletic tape, roughly the width of a wedding ring, around the first or second knuckle of your fingers? If it was lower down to hide or secure an actual wedding ring, that would make sense. But up near the fingertip? Was this for grip? To secure a broken finger? Or what?
Well, several of those things. Some guys, I think Flair did cover up his ring for a while at one point.
Some guys did do that. That was a thing where guys would never take off their wedding ring because their wife would know if she watched TV. So they would just put tape over it.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing, rings now when guys have started wearing earrings and all kinds of shit, jewelry and whatever, you can get an ear ripped off. You can lose a finger if you're wearing a ring or an earring or whatever. It can happen. So the rule would be no jewelry, but if guys didn't want to take the ring off, they'd tape it up. That way you can't hang it on something. Also, Dennis Condrey always had a tape on some of his fingers because he had a chronic finger break. And actually, if I'm thinking back now, it's been so many years, but I think his little finger, he always taped to the next finger on one hand because, guys used to break their that used to be the injuries. Broken fingers, broken teeth, busted nose, not surgery stuff, but shit like that because it was a different style. So sometimes guys have their finger taped because they've got a broken finger or they've got a finger that's susceptible or one that shoots a different way unless you tape it down. Flair also had the old-fashioned blade method that was on his finger always. Because a lot of guys would put their blade, tape it to their wrist on their wrist tape. And if you've got the tape around your blade is white and your wrist tape is white and a strip of tape is taping your blade to your wrist, you can't see it. And when you pull it out, you've got it taped in the right place. So when you pull it off and you use it, then you can stick it back in your trunks or whatever. Whenever I did it, I always did that because Flair would make that blade and tape it to the side of his index finger. And he would have a piece of tape lapped over the sharp part. So when he went down, he could take his thumb and he could flip the fucking piece of tape over the blade off of the sharp part, and it's still on his finger, and boom, and get it, and then it would still be on his fucking hand. And that was his chopping hand. But he'd flap the tape back over the top of it, and boom, and so there was a lot of sleight of hand and magic going on, but generally, even if a guy wasn't going to get juice in a match, he would tape the same way every time because that way you wouldn't be able to tell every time he had a tape on a certain way, he was bleeding. So they just do it all the time. There's a variety of reasons. Or sometimes just because they liked the way it looked. I don't know about the fingers, but a lot of times guys started using that black electrical tape to make their biceps look bigger and shit. That was a thing for a while. But that's a finger tape is usually for either injuries or blades, or to make it so that you can't tell when somebody's got a blade and somebody doesn't.